Hello everyone and welcome back to the Colt 1835's channel, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about how to play better in defense on Rainbow Six Siege. Defense is very special on Rainbow Six Siege because you have that prep phase. That gives you time to set up the way you want to defend a site, and it's the most important thing you could do is get your gadgets down, get your utility down in those 30 seconds. First things first, there are multiple ways to play defense, i.e. roaming and anchoring. Roaming is taking operators, usually a 2 or a 3 speed, and playing away from the objective. Vigil and Caveira are two of the most popular pure roaming operators as they are fast and specialize in avoiding attackers' drones and audio cues. Roamers are mostly an entry denial operator, and they do very well off-site until later in the round, or they're really good at guarding a dropped diffuser. And that's exactly what I'm doing in this clip with Vigil. On the other hand, anchors are exactly what they sound like. They hold down the fort and play closer to the objective or the bomb sites. Anchors usually have the better guns on defense, but they are very slow and noisy, so a lot of them are going to be 3 armor, 1 speed operators. Some great anchors are Echo, Maestro, Smoke, Doc, and Rook. Echo and Maestro because of their cameras, Smoke for his area denial, and Doc and Rook because of their weapon loadouts. Now, an anchor's job is to stop the attackers from pushing into the objective area, and a lot of their abilities and their utilities stop attackers right in place, i.e. smoke. Echo and Maestro can also make sure that you stay in place, as their cameras can cause a little bit of disruption to the attackers. Now, there are a lot of little things that will be learned through playing, but here are a couple of tips that I have learned the hard way, but should be day one knowledge for you. On defense, when in doubt, reinforce the hatches. This is so important for vertical play. Attackers who have the high ground have better chances to kill you. Yes, Obi-Wan was correct. Another thing, don't reinforce the walls between bomb sites. So, if there is a destructible wall between bombs A and B, it's usually better to make a rotate hole in that wall rather than to reinforce it. The reason behind that is if the attacking team actually plants the bomb on the opposite site that you're on, you have a solid way to move into the next room. One exception to this rule is Oregon's upstairs bomb site in dorms and kids' room. You might want to reinforce that unless you have somebody watching that main window from kids' room. This next part I can't stress enough. Unless there is a wall with 3 or 4 reinforceable walls, do not reinforce next to another player. It's a waste of time for both players and causes you and the other player to find another wall to reinforce. If you really want to help the team and don't know where to reinforce, find the hatch above you. And this goes especially for Mira. She is one of the most useful ops in the game, but can be completely ruined if used improperly or if a teammate ruins a black mirror. Do not shoot the black mirror even if you see an enemy. If you break it and die, you just gave the entire enemy team a kill hole for all of your teammates to die to. And believe me, they've got ACOG, so they can use it from a good distance to pick off your heads. One thing I see a lot of new players do is barricading doors into the objective at the beginning of the round. Do not do this. I know that it sounds like it's a good idea, but it really does hurt the veteran players and roamers who leave the objective and want to rotate back to site later in the round. And speaking of placing barricades strategically, if you're playing Castle, use your barricades on outside windows. That makes attackers find either another way around or have to use their utility just to get into the building. He's also really good at making a tunnel outside of the objective and cutting off sight lines. Defensive camera operators are also really good for solo queue because you're going to learn the map by placement of trial and error. And plus, you can help your team after you die. Valkyrie is one of my personal favorites for learning maps, but is best used when cameras are off-site leading up to the building or the objective. As a defender, you should always know where the stairs are because they are the only way to move between floors besides hatches. And for all of my console dweebs, shotguns are great, especially operators with an SMG for a secondary. I'm talking Mute and Smoke. and you could even throw echo in there. And shotguns are really good to make rotation holes if no operator has impact grenades on your team. Another good thing to get in the habit of, especially if you want to kind of take attackers by surprise, is you need to hit the bottom of the barricade twice, kind of where you can't see it, and that makes it to where you only have to hit that barricade once to break it. That's what I call prepping a window, and are really good for jump outs or run outs. Speaking of this, if you're an attacker, learn these spots and lay a claymore to watch your back, because it might save you from somebody trying to run out on you. As far as secondary gadgets go, they all come down to personal preference and your team needs. Impact grenades are not lethal grenades, and you really shouldn't use them as such unless you have an enemy already down. They are best used for making rotation holes in destructible walls, floors, and hatches. Barbed wire is great on stairs and in choke points like doorways into the objective. It's also great with drone holes and can be electrified to destroy those drones. Deployable shields are really strong right now, and they're really good in doorways to the objective, and they have sightlines in them for a little whack-a-mole peek. Proximity alarms are relatively new, but people are using them in really creative ways to use as audio pings for your advantage. Nitro cells are the only lethal secondary that you can have, but you only get one, and you don't get to throw them very far, but you can get pretty good with nitro cells, and they're really satisfying. And remember, Rainbow Six is best played as a team, so using all the operators in different ways will make different play styles every single round. That's why this game is so much fun. So if one round doesn't go quite like you like, remember, you can always try a different operator, and there's always a way to improve your gameplay. But that's all for my basic defending for noobs, so remember, you can always follow me on Twitch and on Twitter. It's the same, the Colt1835, and as always, like and subscribe on YouTube. It's the Colt, signing out.